What's going on, bull runners? Welcome back to the channel. So what are the top 10 altcoins for huge gains in 2024 to make millionaires? Large investors are buying these altcoins right now, and we're just at the tip of the iceberg. As always, this is not financial advice. Don't buy, don't sell anything we talk about on our channel. In fact, crypto is very risky right now, and a correction is coming. So you have a high likelihood of losing money in these markets if you don't know what you're doing. So as always, not financial advice, seek a financial advisor, but I'm going to be sharing with you guys the next narrative to absolutely explode going into 2024, because we saw Solana go over $90 within the past week, over 27%, and the rest of the market's doing very, very well. So if you're excited about becoming the first millionaire in your family tree and you want to see which projects are going to perform well throughout the rest of this bull run leading into 2025, then comment 777 below if you're feeling blessed, if you're feeling bullish, and let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So with the gaming projects, the Solana ecosystem absolutely crushing it, and now the Binance Smart Chain doing very, very well, what is another narrative that people are waiting for to take off and crush it going into 2024, 2025? Well, when we look at Ethereum to Bitcoin, Ethereum hasn't been performing too hot relative to Bitcoin because of the ETF news coming up, but there is a narrative that I think is going to do very, very well and even outperform Ethereum like Solana is doing, that we need to keep a lookout for. So Ethereum on the MACD, we saw a bearish cross take place back in May of 2022, and then we saw, Ethereum relative to Bitcoin rally up one more time before seeing this macro sell-off. So if Ethereum breaks to the downside of this support that you can see right here at almost 0.05 in comparison to Bitcoin, then Bitcoin would be outperforming Ethereum. So I do think that's the most likely case scenario before we see an Ethereum breakout, because we're not seeing a cross yet with the MACD crossing above the signal line. We saw the MACD cross below the signal line all the way up here at 0.1, which strengthens the reversal from bullish price action where Ethereum was performing better compared to Bitcoin, and going into bearish price action where Ethereum is now performing worse compared to Bitcoin, and that is syncing up with the ETF news coming. So I would expect Ethereum to see a push further to the downside, and then eventually Ethereum to have its day in the sun. But the narrative that I am extremely bullish on right now over the next few months is the decentralized finance narrative. Now, looking at the crypto total market cap of the DeFi market sitting right now at roughly $70 billion right here, we can see a breakout of this 1.5-year resistance on the monthly candles right here. So what we're looking at right now is the moving average convergence divergence. And for those of you guys wondering what this is, we're going to bounce back and forth to the chart so you can understand this and give you a little explanation of what's going on here, because the MACD crossing above 0 is considered bullish, while crossing below 0 is considered bearish. Secondly, when the MACD turns up from 0, it is considered bullish. When it turns down from 0, it is considered bearish. And so where we are right now is we're sitting below 0 right here, and we're also seeing a cross on the MACD where the MACD is crossing above the signal, which is a bullish signal. Back here, when we saw the MACD cross below the signal line in orange, that basically signaled the final stop at $170 billion for the DeFi market before we fell off a shelf, and we saw over $100 billion wiped off of the market in just 3 months. We saw an 80% crash in the DeFi market, and then we saw the momentum shift in favor of the bears. We stayed below $60 billion in market cap for 1.5 years, and just recently we broke this symmetrical triangle, and we also broke the $60 billion resistance. Now we're currently above it on the monthly candle. The next stop for the DeFi market is all the way upwards of $100 billion to $125 billion. And the momentum is just shifting in favor of the bulls. And so this is a very good sign, because when the MACD line crosses from below to above the signal line, meaning that the blue line that you can see right here at the bottom of the screen crosses above the orange line, which is the signal line, the indicator is considered bullish. The further below the 0 line, the stronger the signal. So 0 is right in the middle right here, where you can see this yellow line at the bottom of the screen right here. And when the MACD line crosses from above to below the signal line, meaning the blue line is going below the orange line, the indicator is considered bearish. So the further above the zero line, the stronger the signal. And as you can see right here, when this cross took place, we were at $31 billion on the MACD, and we are also at $170 billion in total market cap. This was the complacency stage of the market where people were thinking that we were cooling off, getting ready for a relief rally, and they were expecting the markets to go higher. When in reality on the MACD, we were seeing a bearish cross. We saw a shift in momentum to the downside, and this is when we were seeing the collapse of FTX, Celsius, Terra Luna, UST depegging, and people were just exiting decentralized finance by the masses, and we were officially in a bear market. So just recently, with this bullish cross right here and the histogram going above zero, it's signaling that the bulls are coming back into DeFi. So the top DeFi tokens by market capitalization, you can see we have Avalanche, we have Chainlink, DAI, Internet Computer, Uniswap, whereas the market cap of this is a lot higher. Where we're specifically looking right now is top decentralized exchange tokens, because when people are on-ramping into crypto, they go through a centralized exchange like Coinbase or Binance or KuCoin or Kraken to be able to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum or a token that's on a centralized exchange. But a lot of these altcoins that aren't listed on centralized exchanges are listed on decentralized exchanges. So they have to go over to, Uniswap or PancakeSwap or a decentralized exchange. And a lot of these decentralized exchanges have tokens that people hold that are bullish on their native platform. So for example, you can see Uniswap, XLM, Rune, SNX, Cake, CRV. So what I want to do is I want to cover 10 projects in the decentralized exchange token niche to keep on your radar. Again, don't buy, don't sell these projects. Depending on when you're watching this video, you got to learn how to spot, when it's time to enter the markets and when it's time to just wait for a cool off and not necessarily ape in with, your entire life savings here. So the first project that we're going to dive into is Uniswap. Now, Uniswap is basically the king of decentralized exchanges. When you see the major contracts on it, you can see BNB, Polygon, Sora, Avalanche, Solana, Terra Classic, Arbitrum, Near Protocol. So Uniswap virtually has it all. That's why the market cap is $3.8 billion. But don't let this fool you, because when we look at the all-time high for Uniswap, it was all the way upwards of $42. So sitting at $6.41. This project will do very, very well in a bull run. It's basically like the Bitcoin of decentralized exchanges. And if we look over the past month, Uniswap hasn't really done anything, because you see projects like Solana or Avalanche or other projects doing well, but that money is going to shift back into decentralized exchange tokens at some point when the market cap of the whole DeFi industry sees a breakout. If we go to $100 billion right here, which is the next resistance that acted as support back in February of 2022 before we fell off the shelf, that would be adding an extra $30 billion to the DeFi industry. And if we look at the total market capitalization of all the DEXs, it's only at $15 billion. So for those of you that have been around crypto for a while, you guys know Uniswap, very easy to use. You basically select the token that you want to swap. Ethereum is the main one on Uniswap that's being used. And then you see other tokens that you can swap for, and you just enter the contract address into this search box right here for what you want to trade Ethereum to, or USDC or USDT. You simply connect your wallet, and it connects with different wallets such as MetaMask, Uniswap, Phantom, Wallet Connect, or Coinbase Wallet. And so you just basically, MetaMask is the number one recommended. You go on Google Chrome, you type in MetaMask extension, you get MetaMask, and then you would basically get Ethereum on a centralized exchange, send it to your MetaMask, and be able to swap on here for any decentralized finance token or any altcoin that is listed on Uniswap. And looking at Uniswap's chart right here, we just broke out of this descending resistance, back testing it as support and getting ready for the next move to the upside. Now, where could that move go? Well, there's a few different zones of resistance that we're looking for. The first zone is the high of this descending resistance back in July of 2022, roughly up to $10. The next stop is up here, this resistance, which acted as support back in June of 2021 before the final complacency stage, this dead cat bounce, then falling off the shelf, going all the way back down to $3. So right here, the next resistance is anywhere from $12.60, roughly $13.70. And then the other stop is all the way up here within this range, anywhere around, up to $25. Now, it's interesting because there is another project that I'm going to talk about in a little bit that made a move similar to this, where when it broke from this descending resistance and held it as support, we saw a massive move to the upside. So if we see Uniswap make a major move, then I would expect decentralized exchange tokens to make a move. Now, one project that is making a move right now is Thorchain or Rune, sitting at $5.34, a $1.8 billion market cap and a total supply of 482 million, 333 million of that is in circulation. If we look over the past year, it's up 287% for Rune. Now, why is Rune, outperforming Uniswap when Uniswap technically should be the one to run first? Well, it's because it has cross-chain messaging where you can swap, borrow, and earn with your native assets powered by Rune across chain. So for example, like Ethereum to Bitcoin or USDC or DAI or all these other chains, Binance Smart Chain, Avalanche, Cosmos, Dogecoin, to other chains to be able to swap and compare rates. So that's massive utility for people that want to be able to get a project on another chain. They don't communicate well together. So Rune through Thorchain is solving that problem. Now, looking at the chart right here, no, I don't think it's the best time to be entering into Rune. I do think we could push the upside, but this is what I'm talking about when we saw this move take place, where we saw a break from this descending resistance and we saw a consolidation period from about 21st of August all the way until October. So for a long period of time, we just kind of consolidated between $2.20 all the way down to $1.39. And then we saw the breakout happen for Rune upwards of 370%. So almost a 4x for this project. So really the next stop for Rune are to take out these highs back here of, $13. The next one is roughly $16. And then the all-time high for this project of around $20 right here. So I do think if Bitcoin pushes higher, and Bitcoin goes upwards of 48K, almost 50K, for 48K would be a 618 retracement like I talked about in yesterday's video, then I would expect, Rune to make another push upwards within this range right here before we see a much deeper correction on the other side for Rune going into 2024. Now, the next project to keep on your list is PancakeSwap. PancakeSwap was one of the biggest performers because it deals with the Binance Smart Chain. And right here, you guys can see the all-time high was at $42. The market cap is still below $1 billion. So if we see $10 to $30 billion flow into DeFi, the DEX exchange tokens are going to be the leaders of the narrative. And so $683 million market cap right now, $42 all-time high. The current price is at $2.50. You can't go wrong with a project like this. The Binance Smart Chain, Arbitrum, Polygon, Coinbase as well too, Aptos, and then Linea, and a few others as well. Looking at the chart for PancakeSwap, guys, this one has gotten beat up the entire bear market. We see this macro descending resistance. Now, the more points of contact you see on a resistance or a support, the stronger. When the breakout happens, that move to the upside is going to be a lot stronger because as you can see right here, we see 1 point of contact, almost 2 points of contact, 3 points of contact. Then it just hovered right at this resistance right here. So the fact that we broke out, came back down really fast to backtest it, and now we're consolidating sideways right here for an extended period of time from this breakout. I mean, it's been 50 days, almost 2 months. PancakeSwap is gearing up for a massive move to the upside. In terms of risk to reward ratio for a project like this, if we can break this zone of resistance, which acted as support from June of 2022, from where we are right now, the next stop is all the way up here, about 100% away before we cool off for a little bit. So like I mentioned in the last video, when you gain a level, you consolidate at a level. It's kind of like staying in school for an entire year because you have to learn certain lessons, right? You need to cool off. In crypto, a year is really like a month or 2 months for some of these projects. And then you blast through the resistance, you gain a new level, you consolidate for an extended period of time. And if the markets are still hot and they're still bullish, then you could push even higher for PancakeSwap. So I would expect anything between $5 and $10 for PancakeSwap if Bitcoin remains bullish. So that's anywhere from 100% all the way upwards of 300% for this project. If Uniswap starts doing well, PancakeSwap's going to follow, guys. These projects all move together, so you can't go wrong having a diversified portfolio. But again, don't buy them, don't sell them just because I'm talking about them. Do your own research, okay? You could also take losses in these because if Bitcoin turns around and we see Bitcoin go to the downside, then DeFi will get wrecked even more. Case in point is Curve Dow. Look at this. It's down 95% from the all-time high when it was listed on CoinMarketCap. Now, if we look here, this high of $6, it's at 60 cents. It's about a 10x away from the high of January 4th, 2022. The market cap is $622 million. So these projects, guys, are the mid caps right now. If it's a large cap, it's over $1 billion. If it's a mid cap, it's between 100 million and 1 billion. And if it's a small cap, it's between 10 million or like 50 million, 100 million. If it's a micro cap, then we're talking like million to $50 million, roughly right around there. So looking at this project right here, Curve DAO has a max supply of 3.3 billion, 30% in circulation. Not the best in terms of percentage in circulation, but the chart's looking pretty good for a breakout. We saw this descending resistance. So when I show you these charts, they're going to look very similar. Now, certain projects are going to move first, and then when we catch that narrative, like Rune, for example, is moving, then what's going to happen is a lot of profit taking is going to take place for the ones that move first, and that money flows into other projects. Case in point is what we saw happen with Solana, Avalanche, and now we're seeing Optimism and Arbitrum run, because when those projects cool off and they consolidate sideways, then that money flows into other similar or adjacent narratives. It's kind of like Microsoft to Apple, right? So similar and adjacent narratives of, what's happening in DeFi, Uniswap, PancakeSwap, Curve DAO. This project right here, all the way upwards of $7 back here, sitting at 61 cents. How far are we off from the next breakout resistance? The next breakout, I would expect it to push within this range, anywhere from $1.24, which is 100%, all the way upwards of $1.60. That's 163%. To the all-time high, guys, that's a 10x for this project. Now, I don't think we're just going to go to the all-time high right away. On the macro scale for a lot of these projects, we need to see the Elliott waves play out. And what we're seeing right now for a project like Curve is a double bottom trend reversal in the start of the bull run. So we're in wave number 1. So the move for a project like this, wave number 1 could push anywhere between this resistance range right here all the way up potentially the all-time high. We don't know where wave 1 will be, but let's say wave number 1 tops out right here. Then we see corrective wave number 2 come in throughout 2024. Then wave number 3 is the most impulsive wave. So wave number 3 could be massive depending on if we pass the all-time high for the total DeFi market cap. If we start pushing above, $180 billion for the entire DeFi market cap, I would expect these projects to absolutely crush and do very, very well, because they're the OG ones. But the best performers I'm going to be getting into towards the end of this video, so watch out for these guys. But wave number 1, we're in the midst of it right now, and I would expect there to be a major move, because we're just barely off of the lows of 41 cents. We're sitting at 61 cents right here. We saw a double bottom trend reversal, where, as you can see on the chart right here, you see bottom number 1, we see bottom number 2 forming a higher low. We see the neckline, the resistance right here at roughly 54 cents. We also saw a break of this macro descending resistance. We saw a break, a back test, consolidation, break a little bit higher, another back test, consolidation. The next break up for this project, I could see 87 cents, maybe quick consolidation, and then boom, we fly all the way up here somewhere. I could see that happening. Now, if Bitcoin turns around, we could see much longer consolidation period around this range right here, maybe trade a little bit lower, but eventually I would expect Curve DAO to do very, very well. Another project that I'm keeping on my watch list is GMX. I think this is going to be one of the best performers, guys, for this bull run. It's on Avalanche and it's also on Arbitrum, 2 of the hottest narratives right now. So when people are looking for the best dexes on Avalanche and on Arbitrum, they're going to look at GMX. So this is actually one of the top ones that I'm keeping on my watch list for a decentralized exchange. It's sitting at $438 million market cap, just half of a billion. The total supply is 9.6. The circulating supply is 9.2 million. So almost all of it is in circulation right now. And the fully diluted is 457 million. The market cap is 438. So almost all of the diluted is a part of the market cap, meaning you're not going to have many VCs dump on new traders. And this is a decentralized perpetual exchange where you can trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Avalanche, and other top cryptocurrencies with up to 50x leverage directly from your wallet. Guys, decentralized perpetual exchanges are going to be the wave leading into this bull run when people start catching on to what makes crypto crypto. Well, what makes crypto crypto is DeFi. Crypto was built off of challenging centralized CEX, centralized banking, the banking system. So decentralized banking is what crypto is built off. So why would decentralized finance not perform well? It's obvious, okay? So DeFi is going to be one of the biggest industries, and crypto not only was built off DeFi, but it's built off of leverage trading. Now, obviously, if you're new to crypto, you're not going to come into something like this and trade with 50x, 20x, 100x, 200x leverage and expect to not get wrecked you'll get absolutely wrecked if you're new, because you'll have tighter stop losses before you get liquidated. So if you're trading with $1,000 and you're trading with 50x leverage, your stop loss is going to be very small. So if you get these wicks down, then you get liquidated very quick, right? But the open interest on this, 247 million, total trading volume, 161 billion. Now, obviously that's counting the total amount of leverage as well too, but they got 454,000 users, guys. Their community is massive on GMX. And looking at the chart right here, it didn't even have a 2021 bull run. So this project, on TradingView was listed on October 5th. And so we don't even see that it had a previous cycle. So a big narrative is going to be projects that have yet to see a bull run. It's their first bull run. So the first bull run projects that go into price discovery, these are the ones that, it could be anyone's guess where wave number 5 ends up for something like this, in the hundreds of dollars. But right here, what I'm seeing is a head and shoulders pattern right here, where you see the left shoulder at $61. It wicked all the way down to 37. Then we saw the head for the all-time high at $90. And then it came back down for this neckline right here, formed a right shoulder, fell off the shelf, and then also formed this descending resistance. Now we're seeing, double bottom trend reversal, where we're seeing a higher low. We see this neckline right here at roughly $43. We saw a break of this neckline, rally all the way up, test this zone of resistance right here, which was the right shoulder. It got rejected at $55, came all the way back down to this neckline, and now it's bouncing off of it, which is a great sign for GMX that it held this neckline right here at about $42. So in the micro, what we're forming right now is we're forming wave number 5 in macro Elliott wave number 1, because within each Elliott wave, there is another micro 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we see an ABC, going into the corrective waves. And so on the impulse waves, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the corrective waves, we see A, B, C, right? And so on the macro, we see the same thing happening, right? This is just basically sacred geometry, God math, whatever you want to call it. So what we're forming right here, we already saw wave number 1 from the bear market low of $30, and that was up to the neckline simultaneously. That was also to this descending resistance, got rejected from it right at $43. Wave number 2, corrective wave number 2, and you can clearly see the ABC in here as well too. You see the A down to 36, the bounce to 40, and then the C all the way down here for the C wave. And then within micro, you can even see it's kind of a little bit harder to see when you zoom in even more, but we can calculate like a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave number 3. And now we're seeing wave number 4, this back test of this neckline. So now what we're going to start again is we're going to start another micro Elliott waves, where we're going to see, wave number 1, wave number 2, depending on where wave number 3, maybe it goes up to the right shoulder, wave number 4, and then the final wave number 5 before another ABC corrective wave going into Bitcoin's halving, right? So Bitcoin's halving would maybe bring the price right around here. So we'll see. I know the chart looks a little sloppy because it's hard to predict exactly what's going to happen, but we're waiting for another wave up for the final 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the Elliott wave macro for the 1 wave on this whole bull run, right? So when I say macro, what I mean is the entire bull run. And when I say micro, I mean months within the bull run. So on the macro, there's going to be a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5. Everybody in the club get the ball. All right, so a 5. And then in the micro, there's going to be months within those 1s, months within the 2, months within the 3, months within the 4, months within the 5. And then once the top comes in, we see a macro, a much longer A, B, C, which is the yearly. It takes 1 year to go from top to bottom on a macro. And then we see, other Elliott waves within those. And so we'll get there when the time comes. But right now, we're looking good, guys. We're looking good. So the best entry points are on these corrective waves 2, 4, and then obviously on the end of the C waves, right? So you look for the end of the C waves right here. And so we are at the end of a C wave after this wave 3. You can clearly see it. A, B, C for wave number 4. It would have been a good entry point at $42. We're at $47 right now. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working our way up for wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. And this could happen a lot quicker than you think too. Sometimes it just blasts up really fast, as you can see right here, impulsive wave number 3. And so wave number 1 is going to be all right, corrective wave number 2. Then we're going to see GMX fly for wave number 3. So wave number 3 might be a 0.5 retracement on the Fibonacci retracement if we were to draw from the high of the head and shoulders down to the low right here for this double bottom trend reversal. So not to get too detailed in that, we can give you guys some more technical analysis, but GMX, keep it on your radar. The next one is 1 inch, sitting at 40 cents right here, $460 million market cap. Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Solana, Avalanche, Near Protocol. 1 inch is going to do very, very well, guys, sitting at 40 cents. Right? I'm very bullish on this project. The all-time high, $7.40. Yes, this is an older one from the last bull run, but these older ones, guys, they absorb a lot of the liquidity. They're the leaders. And then there's going to be some newer ones that are going to be popping up, like GMX, right? So I'm mixing in newer ones with older ones for you guys to keep on your watch list. You can't go wrong with having these on your star list. All you have to do, go on CoinMarketCap, create an account, click this little star button, it adds it to your watch list. And then when you're searching cryptocurrencies, you could look at your watch list and see which ones are outperforming others so you can know which narrative is hot in the moment. Because when you have a watch list and you see big performers over the past week, you know that that ecosystem's narrative, if it's gaming, AI, real world assets, maybe tokenized real estate or whatever, or decentralized finance or layer ones is hot, then you can look for other projects that are lower market caps. Now, 1 inch's chart is looking great. We saw a break of this descending resistance right here. I talked about this project a while ago, and I said that, you know, breaking out from this descending resistance, we could see a consolidation at it, and we could trade further down, but eventually we would see a break to the upside. So we're doing well. We've held this support at roughly 33 cents. We're at 40 right now. The next move for this project to watch for is anywhere between 55 cents to 70 cents, you know, all the way upwards of 89 cents. So if this project pushes up and it sees a breakout, we can move very fast to 70, 80, even 90 cents and kind of cool off in this middle range right here before we see another move to the upside. The other move to the upside for this project for 1 inch is anywhere from $1.25 to $1.79. So they all look very similar. The Elliott waves is what we're looking for. So as you guys know, we're forming the Elliott waves right here. So where are we in this Elliott wave? 1, we're seeing impulse wave 1, corrective wave 2, impulse wave 3 is going to be the most impulsive, corrective wave 4, and then impulse wave 5 to end Elliott wave 1 before we go into a much macro corrective wave number 2 leading into 2024 for Bitcoin's halving. So right now we are still bullish, guys, because the ETFs have yet to be approved. When they get approved, I would expect a lot of money to flow into these markets relatively quickly, and for the wave 3 impulse for most of these to be happening right now over the next couple weeks. Wave 3 in this micro wave 1 to watch for. So keep that on your watch list. SushiSwap as well too. You know, another mid cap, 279 million, $1.21. The all-time high for this project was upwards of 20 bucks. You know, I think all the way up here was like $21. And then the circulating supply of the total supply, 250 million, 231 million is in circulation. So that's very good. The majority is in circulation. As you guys can see, SushiSwap, you know, links with Solana, Phantom, Avalanche, BNB, Polygon, Harmony, Terra Luna Classic, Arbitrum, Near Protocol. So SushiSwap, another major contender for the mid caps to perform well. The chart looks almost identical. So you can't go wrong with a lot of these projects, guys. When they fall, they all fall together. When they move up, they all move up together. So if you pick one, you know, yeah, something can move first, but then eventually it'll catch up as long as the team doesn't completely destroy something for the project and there's not some crazy thing that happens with them. So that's why having a diversified portfolio with several across multiple narratives is going to be good for yourself. So where we are right now from the low is we're up 187%. You know, to go from the low to this resistance would be 300%. To this resistance would be 470%. Well, from where we are right now, if I were to measure from this resistance is roughly 70% to 140%. So I do think there's a 2 to 3x in the tank for a lot of these mid caps, because with $30 billion, $10 to $30 billion flowing into DeFi, decentralized exchanges, I think are going to absorb a few billion of that. And so I could see these projects doing some good, nice little 2xers to finish up wave number 1 in the Elliott wave. So, you know, we push up here within this range, and then we see a much deeper consolidation for wave number 2 going into Bitcoin's halving. And then we just work our way out of here in 2024, and we just start seeing what's going to happen with DeFi if we're not in a much more macro recession that brings the lows for these corrective waves like back down here in middle of 2024. So we'll see in middle of 2024. But if you're considering taking profits off the table. Again, I'm not going to tell you when to take profits, but the best times to take profits are obviously wave number 1, impulsive wave number 3, impulsive wave, and wave number 5, impulsive wave, because we see months of bullish price action to get to wave 1, and then we see months of bearish price action to get to wave 2, and then we see months to get to wave 3, months to get to corrective wave 4, and then months to get to corrective wave 5 for the all-time high, where arguably you want to be hedged out like 80% of your portfolio, and then the 20% you're just leaving in projects that you have long conviction for. That's my strategy. Some of you guys are diamond hands. You like to hold forever because you like seeing your portfolio drop 80 to 99%. That's not me. I like to take some money off of the table too, to actually have real money that I could spend every single day. And I know I say real money, the US dollar is not really real money because it's not backed by anything, but in today's economy, until crypto is ready and the railway for the banking system with ISO and everything's ready to rock and roll, then we could be living off crypto, but it's still volatile, guys. So in a bear market, we still see 70 to 99% drops. So if you're up like 100 grand, $1 million, $10 million, do you really want to go and see your portfolio go to $10 million just to not take any profits at wave number 5, to see it drop 90%? Then you're back down to $1 million and you left $9 million on the table that you have to wait another 3 years for. That just doesn't make any sense, okay? I don't care how bullish you are on the future of crypto. It's not money unless it's, like they say, money in the bank, as much as we don't like banks. Now, Trader Joe, 72 cents, $282 million market cap. The max supply is 500 million tokens. There's 388 in circulation, 77.71777. This is a good sign right here. In circulation, over 70%. That's what we like to see. So what we like to see is the majority of the max supply in circulation, meaning that they can't have a massive amount of tokens that are locked away released really fast, which suppresses the price. That's what the US dollar does, right? Because the Federal Reserve, if they go and they just print a bunch of money, then that devalues the dollar. It's the same thing for crypto. If they go into like their escrow, or they release and unlock tokens from the smart contract and it goes into circulation, that's the same thing as the US dollar just being printed. And then we see the value of the token drop relative, because in order to calculate, what the price is, it's a formula where you're like multiplying the, I think you're multiplying the price by the circulating supply to get the market cap. And so if the circulating supply is higher, just to get the same market cap, the price would be like lower. So if we saw 50% of a max supply in circulation and the remaining 50% gets released, the price would drop by half, even if nobody buys or sells. And so that's why you want a high percentage of the circulation of the max supply. I hope that makes sense for you guys. So let's look at the chart right here, because Trader Joe is popping up and it's been doing very, very well. Right here, we see this neckline. We see a macro double bottom trend reversal. So the neckline is where it's at right now, roughly 72 cents. And so the most likely case scenario, if the DeFi narrative remains hot, like I think it will, and decentralized exchanges absorb most of that liquidity when the total DeFi market cap grows, then on the MACD, bullish cross, then I would expect it to hold this neckline as support and then see another move to the upside upwards of $1.50, $1.60, which was resistance right here for this complacency stage, and this boom, this double bottom on the, or double top, whatever you want to call this right here. And so how far off is that from where we are right now? That's roughly 100%. So a 2x for Trader Joe right here. Now, Trader Joe, everybody likes Trader Joe's. We're not talking about the grocery store. We're talking about Trader Joe, the decentralized exchange. Now, Raydium is another one. The reason why Raydium's doing well, and Raydium's been crushing it, guys, this past month. This project's down over 75% overall, but over the past month, because of what's been happening on Solana, this is the exchange, kind of like Uniswap was for Ethereum. This is the Uniswap of Solana. And so it has a market cap of 392 million. It's up 300% over the past month. So it's already up a 3x. The circulating supply, not as good. Something like Trader Joe, it's 44% of the max supply. But if Solana remains hot, I expect Raydium to do well for the rest of this bull run. So right now it's a little bit on a pump right here. It's not the best time to be entering into Raydium, but watch this one, guys, because as we get up to this resistance of $2.30, it could poise for a correction. It could potentially have a correction, and you could see a great entry point for a project like this. And I would expect wave number 1 to be finishing here soon. Maybe we push upwards of $3.80, if we break this neckline right here. So the resistances that I'm watching for Raydium is anywhere between $2.33, which was support all the way back here, upwards of this complacency dead cat bounce of $3.85 right here. So if we push up here, then I would expect us to have a much deeper correction for these projects, and this to be the new neckline and to form maybe an even more macro double bottom trend reversal right here, where then we break this and then we go into new all-time highs for a much macro wave number 3, corrective wave number 4, and then wave number 5 for a blow off top. Then leading into 2026, we see the bear market, because this would be the macro Elliott waves that we're looking for. So we had the bottom right here. We're forming wave number 1 right now. Wherever wave 1 tops out is where Bitcoin's going to top out and the rest of the markets are going to top out. Then we see corrective wave number 2, and then we see some type of double bottom trend reversal taking place. Wave number 3 is would push past $8 probably. Who knows where wave number 4 comes, and then we see a blow off top potentially for wave number 5. So I think Raydium could do very well, guys. I don't see why Raydium shouldn't. If I draw the fibs right here from when it's listed on TradingView to a 4.236, that's $36 from where we are right now. So Solana being the number 1 project that people are talking about right now means that the top exchange that allows people to trade on Solana, Raydium, would do well. That's a 2,200% for a 4.236. I don't see why this project couldn't pull $50. With Solana being so hot, even if Solana cracks down for wave number 3, guys, after wave number 2, going into the end of 2024, that money's going to flow back in, and Raydium will be one of those projects to catch that liquidity. So if this project goes to $50, that's a 30x for this. Now, there are no guarantees here. Again, be very careful right now. Don't just dive into these projects, because we're almost finishing up with wave number 1. I want to warn you, but this video is for you to watch 6 months to 12 months from right now, and we'll see if this plays out. For all we know, we could go to the beach of the moon, and corrective wave number 2 might be above the all-time high with Bitcoin's ETF. We don't know. We just have to move forward with caution here and expect the most likely case scenario. So we're sitting at 85 on the RSI for Raydium, and then I would expect a break of this upward trending resistance because it's so steep at some point. So nonetheless, I'm keeping it on my radar. Keep it on your watch list. You don't need to go and just back up the truck for these projects, because you might lose money right now. It's risky to be entering in the markets when we've been seeing several months, if not all year, of bullish price action. We should at least see a few months of bearish price action sometime in 2024. And so DYDX is another one, $588 million market cap. The max supply is 1 billion tokens. The circulating supply, not so hot for this one, 18% of the circulating supply. But from the all-time high, guys, this one was upwards of 20, 23, 24 bucks. Yeah, actually $26, somewhere up here. So it's at $3 right now. I would expect DYDX to do very well. The chart's looking good. It's been trending upwards since December of 2022. And so these perpetual exchanges that allow you to trade with leverage, guys, are hot right now. So looking at this one from the all-time high, how far off are we from up here? We're about a 700% for this project, but the chart looks strong. The chart looks like it's doing well. If we see any more sell-off to the downside, we can actually see this bullish flag formation right here. If we break this resistance of like $3.50, actually $3.67, which was resistance back in February of 2023, and we break the resistance of $4.40, we could fly really, really fast between $6.90 upwards of $7.50 right here. This would be the final stop, I think, for wave number 1. Up here in this range. The reason why is because we saw so much choppiness back here in 2022, acting as support, resistance right here, and then falling off a shelf. So I would expect this to be the choppy action where we see this massive price wall take place up here. So how far off are we from that right now? Well, we're 100%. So a lot of these projects, in the short term, there's still some gains left on the table if Bitcoin remains bullish. And now if Bitcoin pushes up to a 618 retracement, which is $48,000, and cools off for a little bit, and we start to see the decentralized finance market cap start booming, we start to see meme coins going crazy, everything in the altcoins start going crazy, I would err on the side of caution if we're pushing up within this range right here, because I would expect a much deeper cool off to take place in 2024. So if we push up within this range, corrective wave number 2 would be coming in on this macro, and then we consolidate going into the end of 2024. And then if the economy hasn't imploded, then we push past the all-time highs for impulsive wave number 3. So in terms of the Elliott waves, guys, we're forming Elliott wave number 1. Depending on how high wave number 1 goes, I'll let you know on this channel on a consistent basis. The second best entry point is wave number 2. And then we see wave number 3 form life-changing wealth, corrective wave number 4, and then wave number 5 is the final stage of the bull run leading into the end of 2025 to get ready for that. So as always, what we're doing to prepare is we're backing up our truck all the way to the bank. We're grabbing our bags, packing them and stacking them, leaving no bags left behind because we believe that the spending power of the dollar is going to continue to go down in value. That's a fact based on inflation, blockchain tech, distributed ledger technology, and decentralized finance is going up in interest. That's the truth. And together, you know where we're going. We're going camping on the beaches of the moon. So I'll see you guys on the next video. If you want to discover our top altcoin picks first before these videos come out and get early bird access to our financial education platform when that's released, if you have no previous crypto trading experience required, all you need to do, click the link in the description below or go to bullrunners.com, click the button on the page, put in your best email address. You'll be instantly subscribed to our video newsletter to receive breaking news updates because we like to give you the best to help you prepare for the worst that's yet to come in this economy. So I'll see you guys on the next video. I'll see you on bullrunners.com inside of our Telegram group. As always, you know what to do. Stay bullish.